On the banks of the Merrimack River, the Songus Center plays host to an opening round matchup in the Hockey East tournament. And familiar foes are squaring off tonight. The 7 seed UMass Lowell goes head-to-head with the 10 seed UNH for the third time in the last 6 days. And we thank you for joining us high above the ice alongside Calvin Cristoforo. I'm Joe Weil. Our ringside reporter Natalie Norrie will join us in a little bit. Friday night hockey in the Mill City, and it's a top 15 matchup tonight here at the Songus Center in Lowell, Massachusetts. A packed house is expected as 14th ranked UMass Lowell hosts 3rd ranked Boston College. And we thank you for joining us high above the ice alongside Will Henschel. I'm Joe Weil. Our ringside reporter Natalie Norrie will join us in a little bit. Truman, 2-on-1 chance here. Truman shoots and scores! Riverhawks win it! Scout Truman with the game winner in overtime. Here's Ricketts, 9 goals in the season, gives way to Shatsky. Shatsky to Ricketts, one-timer save, rebound, score! Reed flicks it on net. It bounces in and out of the glove of Welsh. UNH still has it. Conmee to the middle, shot, they score! Robert Cronin does it again against UMass Lowell. His 4th goal in 3 games against the Riverhawks, and UNH takes a 2-1 lead. Heward to the end line. Cole's able to intercept it. Chance in front for Crossa. Crossa shoots, saved by DiMatteo on a backhanded attempt. Here comes Leonard in the left face-off circle, has it poked away. He gets it back behind the net. Now feeds to the right face-off circle. Here's Smith, a wrister. He shoots and scores! Will Smith scores for the 2nd time in as many nights, and Boston College strikes first. Mariano. Back to the far side. Jovetic to Mariano. One-timer. She scores! Tori Mariano's 1st goal of the season. And the Huskies lead 4-1. Feet up top. Reed. Wrister saves. Second chance. Blocked again by Welsh. To Buttazzoni now on the near side. That got poked free. Puck still loose. This one goes in. Well read by Chris Delaney. And it's a 3-2 game. Welcome back to Hockey East action on a clean sheet of ice thanks to the Casella Systems Ice Scrape alongside Calvin Cristoforo and Natalie Norrie. I'm Joe Weil. Let's take a look at the Hockey East history for both of these clubs. In UNH, they have 2 Hockey East tournament titles under their belt, last one in 2003. Of course, the Riverhawks under head coach Norm Bazen. They've won 3 Hockey East tournaments, last one coming in 2017.
And these 2 teams, of course, also met last season in this opening round. A win for UNH, who last year was the 6 seed against the 11 seed Riverhawks, who had just 8 wins last season. Different story this year with UNH coming here on the road. But Wildcats looking for the same result, 1-0 win last year on top by a goal here in the matchup this year.
Play back underway. Riverhawks again have it in the offensive zone. That one's sent on net, and DiMatteo once again steps up. So he continues to be extremely impressive for the Wildcats. And here comes UNH the other way. It's Winters at the right face-off circle, up top to Reed. Back to Winters. Near side. Cross-ice pass. Now a one-timer from Reed is wide. Good job by Truman.
Kind of a bouncing puck there. Didn't get a ton on it.
These 2 teams have met up in the Hockey East Tournament Championship. That was back in 2014. It was a commanding victory for UMass Lowell there. A 4-0 win. Connor Hellebuck, 30 saves in
it helps when you got that guy,
yes,
huh?
Yeah, I would say so. He had 30 saves in the win. A memory that very fond for Riverhawks fans. Schweigart to Crossa, and Riverhawks trying to bring it right to left. Comes back into the neutral zone. Now Conmee, who's had a great season, 15 goals, 17 assists. What a great 2 years he's had here at UNH.
Yeah, stellar. Really good talent. Kings draft pick. They got him for a steal late in the 6th round. He has blossomed into a really good prospect.
Yeah, 15th in Hockey East in points coming into tonight. Last year, 14 goals, 17 assists. So he pretty much hit his totals from a season ago. But when we talked to Mike Souza about him, he said this year he's a marked man. And despite that, he stepped up. Turner now has it. Got 8.5 minutes gone by here in the second period. Still 2-1 UNH. Good stick work by Eddie to poke it away. But now Ring has it. He's got 9 goals this year, 7 on the power play. It's Robert Cronin who has the 1 power play goal tonight.
Yeah, UNH looking for a hold there, don't get one.
Heward with the wrister from the blue line, stopped by Welsh. And maybe a couple of calls that could have gone either way there.
This is the playoffs, right? You don't want to be racking up the penalties called. I think the referees are going to have a bit of a tighter whistle here as we have switched off to the postseason. Of course, UNH got the first 2 power plays. Lowell got the 3rd one. But I think the officials are going to call this game really tight in terms of not calling penalties unless something egregious occurs.
That freshman 3rd line back on for UMass Lowell. UNH wins the faceoff. They're 29th in the nation coming into this contest at the dot at 50.6%. Riverhawks at 45th in the nation at 48.3%. Scrassens winds up, fires, and it's wide. That was all or nothing there from Scrassens.
Certainly was. Teed it up.
Came away with nothing. Still 2-1 game. Here comes Ro Bellotti. The Holy Cross transfer has had a great season, a +6 on the ice on the year coming into the night. That's second best in the team behind Connor Eddy. Armbazen has loved his leadership. Big hit on the far boards. It was Collins who bore the brunt of that. Now we have an icing call. Bring the puck back. Clock stops with 10:23 remaining here in the second period. UNH still on top, 2-1. For more in-depth analysis and the latest news from around the league, tune into This Week in Hockey East, hosted by Bridget Prue and Eric Galanti. New episodes air on each Friday night at 6:30 p.m. on NESN. Puck comes to neutral ice. In this second period, the Riverhawks with 5 shots, UNH with 4.
Yeah, UMass Lowell came out firing to begin this period, but UNH just kind of settled in and muddied things up a bit, making nothing easy for Lowell in their offensive zone.
Scout Truman to the slot, looking there for Varwork. And Varwork could not redirect it to the net.
Muddying things up, blocking shots, a big way to do that. They have 13 blocked shots to the Wildcats.
Fitzgerald streaking into the offensive zone. And a good job by one of the captains and Pearson Brandon to just meet him. As an icing call will bring it back into the Wildcats offensive zone with 9:37 left here in the second.
Yeah, that was supposed to be a pass. It was a line drive, got a lot on it. It's a good double in the gap as it saucers all the way down.
Almost at baseball season. Spring training has begun. High hopes for the Red Sox this year. Let's take a look at the other scores around Hockey East here in the opening round. Northeastern and Merrimack tied at 1. That was expected to be a highly contested matchup.
It's an interesting matchup, certainly.
UMass with a 2-1 advantage over Vermont. Chance in front. Redirected wide there by Reed. And that Merrimack Northeastern game, the goals were scored about 1 minute apart from one another. Big hit. That came from Bentley. And it was Devlin who bore the brunt of that one. You can see all dirtied up there with the ice. Truman goes through Collins. Ends up going to Bentley on the far side. Bentley to Eddie. Oh, he couldn't get his stick to the puck. And it comes back to the neutral zone, and now a reset here for the Riverhawks.
Bentley's been playing well here down the stretch. Good feed there, just popped over Eddie's stick. I'm sure he would love to have that one back.
And that could have been a good chance. Crossa from the right face-off circle, whips it on net and ties the game. Matt Crossa, the senior, with his 5th goal of the year. And we're knotted up at 2 here in the second.
Really something out of nothing there. This is a frozen rope from Crossa beating DiMatteo glove side, a line drive We talk so much about the youth on this team, but Krasa, a senior, his 125th career game tonight for UMass Lowell. And just goes top left shoulder and fires it in. This is a BB. That's a goal scorer's goal for Krasa, just his 5th of the year. For a guy that was a scratch in the game on Friday night against New Hampshire, that is a colossal goal. We talked about how big the next one is going to be, as UMass Lowell didn't want the Wildcats to take a 2-goal lead. Now Krasa ties it at 2, back to a fresh contest, and momentum is back to the side of UMass Lowell.
A big goal from the senior, Matt Krasa. Knotted up at 2. It came 11 minutes and 23 seconds into the second period. But a huge one to get this thing back tied at 2. Schweigart, one-timer from me and blocked in front. That was Sweeney who stepped up to block that one. Just a snipe from Krasa going top shelf, getting it over the shoulder there of DiMatteo, who, as we've talked about, has been so good in his starts for UNH since taking over for Jared Weil after he went down with the upper body injury against Boston College.
Yeah, so big for Lowell to not allow New Hampshire to extend their lead. Now they feel like they're the team with momentum in a tied game.
Now Meehan has it in the offensive zone. We've seen time and time again the Riverhawks have it in their zone. You figured they were on the doorstep a couple times of busting through. They finally did. Line change here came late. It's that freshman line again. Becker now trying to get to the puck where Walsh has it. And now it's Delaney who ends up shoveling it into the neutral zone. Comes back into the Riverhawks defensive zone. 7.5 to go here in the second period. UNH and UMass Lowell tied at 2 here in the 7-10 matchup of the Hockey East opening round. Delaney, who already has 1 goal tonight, sends it wide of the net.
Boy, does he play with so much fire, creating his own chance in the offensive zone.
The Hopkinton, Massachusetts native got the scoring going tonight with a goal 9 minutes and 33 seconds in. Now Turner, right faceoff circle, hits off the skate of Becker, puck still in front, and finally smothered up by Henry Welsh. And the clock stops with 6:59 left in the second period with UMass Lowell and UNH tied at 2. Fun matchup here at the Saga Center. Matt Krasa with a snipe from the right faceoff circle to knot it up at 2. Little under 7 minutes left here in the second period. The 7-10 matchup between UMass Lowell and UNH.